Hi, my name's Rehana. I've been with ResMed since December of 2006. My parents have a really interesting story. They actually came to Australia in the 70s as refugees, and they were among the first refugees to come into Australia from East Africa, from Uganda. There was the dictator that kicked them out and Australia took them in. In April, May of 2017, Mum started to fall a few times. And at first, no one really thought anything of it. The falls started to get more frequent and she couldn't explain it. She'd kind of describe it as my legs just give out underneath me. Ended up going through a few doctors and ended up with a neurologist. And that's when we first heard about, hey, maybe it could be motor neuron disease or ALS. ALS or motor neuron disease, what happens in the disease is the messages that usually go to your muscles to tell your muscles to move, to contract, they stop going there. They still haven't figured out why it happens. They haven't figured out why it's more aggressive in some people than others, and there is no cure for it at the moment. One day she emailed me saying, hey, there's this clinical trial that they've asked me to be on. Can you have a read of it? What do you think of it? I opened up the email and I started reading it, and I saw the word IVAPS, and then I saw the word monitored through AirView, and I went, hang on, this is ResMed. These are products I've worked on. I know the engineers who are on these products. And at that time, she didn't need the device, but she was being set up on a Loomis device and was going to be remotely monitored to see her progress. And the idea was that setting up motor neuron or ALS disease patients earlier with breathing treatment will prolong their life expectancy. So she started off with one Loomis device. She actually has progressed quite aggressively, and so one Loomis device turned into two Loomis devices because there's one that she'll use at nighttime and then one that she'll use during the day. So once we had two Loomis devices, we were quite tied to being at home because with the Loomis, it needs to be plugged into power. She didn't have the confidence to go out because she would be scared that if she was out and she'd get breathless or she'd feel like she needed air, she doesn't have her device with her. So we worked with her care team and with ResMed, and she got set up with an Astral. And that was a turning point because it meant that now we could go out because there is no cure, and the only drugs on the market are really focused on slowing down how aggressive it is. What our doctor had told us and what we have to do is focus on living every day and how can we make every day the best day for Mum, because we don't know when that day will be the last day. She got set up in it just in December of last year, and it meant that we could all go away as a family. So we went up the coast for a week, brought the hospital bed up to the hotel, and we took her to the beach, and we would go for a walk with her along the boardwalk, and we'd take her out for lunch at a restaurant. And while she was there, if she started to feel anxious or nervous or feel really breathless, she would just grab her ResMed mask and put it on and get the treatment, and then start to feel better and less breathless, and then take it off again for a bit. But it meant that for us as a family, like, we weren't tied to being in the house. We could actually go out and enjoy these moments. We pulled off like Christmas dinner. Like, we actually made a turkey and pudding and everything in this hotel up the coast, but we had a Christmas dinner together away. And that was huge because with how the disease has progressed, like, I didn't know how we were going to make it happen, but we made it happen. We always hear in ResMed like this tagline of changing lives with every breath. And, you know, you hear it all the time, but for me now that has so much more meanings because it's not changing lives with every breath, it's changing my mum's life with every breath. Like, she wouldn't have the confidence she does right now. She would be way more housebound. Like, Astral has given her this opportunity to really enjoy what is otherwise quite a horrible disease.